Winning! Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual vittles. And today I'm going in on what's your highest form of currency. This is a good one, family. This is a good one. What's your highest form of currency? This is a good one because a lot of people aren't even aware what their highest form of currency is. Most humans would say it's money. But I'm here to tell you, family, in the earthly domain, I can see why you would say money. But in the spiritual world, your light is your highest form of currency, family. Your light. The spiritual world doesn't care anything about your money. Doesn't care anything about your money. But in the spiritual world, your light is how you're recognized. That's what they recognize you by. You know, my master once told me that it's always good to focus on your light and work on your light. And I asked him why. He's like, that's how you're recognized in the spiritual world. And he went on to tell me, just imagine if you're in the spiritual world and you're so dimmed, people could tell right off what type of work you've done while you're in your waking state. So when he told me that, I was like, you know what? I want to be wealthy with light. And that's when I embarked on my solar gazing and learning all these divine prayers and just worked on being a good sentient being out here. Because I knew then that I want to be recognized for my light, for all the good things I did while I was down here on earth. So I'm here to tell you, family, a lot of people really don't understand how valuable your light is. In previous videos, I talked about light facets and how you had over 670 something light facets. And the more light facets you lose, the more unable you are to make sound decisions. Like a person who abuses drugs, a person that abuses liquor, excessive cursing, barnyard vernacular, stealing, cheating, killing. You lose a lot of your light doing those things. You lose a lot of your light doing those things. And you notice that people who are on drugs or who are always doing those mischievous things, those deviant things like that, they keep doing them over and over and over. Once you allow detritus and negativity to consume you, it needs you to do more just so it can sustain itself. You know what I mean, family? You can call back out to your light facets, though. You can go out to the sun and work on being a good person, let all those things that you were doing that was taking all your light, you gotta let that go and work on yourself, and you can call your light facets back. It's not like you lose them and that's just it forever. In some cases, you can only go so far spiritually after you've done drugs for so many years, after you've done like heinous crimes and things like that. You can only go so far spiritually. You know, you can't think that you can do all these heinous things and then when you get like 40 or 50, I'm ready to start living clean. It doesn't work like that, family. It doesn't work like that. You built up a lot of impetus or a lot of spiritual impetus or momentum that you have to deal with one day. You know, I call karma momentum because some people don't believe in karma, but I call it momentum. And momentum is like, it corresponds to your previous actions. If you've done a lot of negative things, all that energy or corresponding energy will find you one day, either in this lifetime or the next lifetime. You have to deal with it. You can't run from it. Your karma is like your spiritual social security card, family. So if you're aware of all the bad things you may have done in the past, start doing some Dharma to dissolve some of your negative karma. And Dharma is nothing more than doing good things for people without wanting anything in return. That's Dharma. You know, when I was younger in my teens, I was a mischievous kid from the hood. I was a product of my upbringing, of my environmental source code. I was doing what everyone else was doing when I was younger. But as I started growing older and maturing and when I had my daughter, I started to view the world differently. I started to think about my light because I wanted my daughter's actions to be a reflection of all my teachings. And the beauty about having my daughter so early at 20 years old, she was able to see the gambit of my maturity. She was able to see me raw and young and, smoking and drinking and cursing. And then she slowly see me evolve to the enlightened brother you guys see today. Always smiling, feeling great, and really basking in the Creator's blessings. That's how I look at myself now, family. I look at myself as someone who recognizes light as being worth something. You know what I mean? I choose not to deal with negative Nancy's or low vibratory people because I know what my light is worth. Never feel bad about cutting anyone out your light that doesn't have light. Excuse me. Never feel bad for cutting someone out of your life that doesn't have light, okay? It's okay. It's okay. I don't care if it's your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your daddy, your boo. If they don't have the light that you hold yourself, you can love them from afar, but you can't willingly allow them to take your money or your spiritual currency away like that. Your light is worth something. And when you have the understanding that your light is worth something, you have to act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? The same way you have a soulmate that's loving and kind, you also have soulmates that are negative. I've said this before in some of my videos that some people are nothing more than low vibratory algorithms sent here in this earthly domain to prevent you from growing spiritually. A lot of people are like that. And the sad thing is, it's kind of like junk food or sweets and candies, delicious chocolate cake, ooh, cookies, ooh, it's delicious, but it'll make you fat. It'll make you fat. And the same thing with those low vibratory soulmates. And you have so much fun with those low vibratory soulmates. You're like, man, it's like a drug. Y'all out kicking and having fun, doing all this crazy stuff. But they're your low vibratory soulmates, and you gotta let them go, family. You gotta let them go. Get your feel and let them go. You are human. I was human. I used to have some friends that was no good. They were no good, but we grew up as babies, and I didn't even know they weren't no good. I knew they weren't no good, but we grew up as babies. And my wife was like, you know what, Chris? You're a family man now. You're married. You got a daughter. I don't want to see those guys in my home. I don't even want their energy in here. And at the time, I wasn't really evolved enough to really understand what she was saying, but I loved her enough to listen. Now that I'm older, I look back on the old me, and she just, a lot of women, y'all just instinctively know, like, this cat ain't no good. So she was always right. I give thanks for my wife because, I'm the brawn. I'm the juggernaut. I go through things. But my wife, she said, why do you got to go through things when you could just avoid things? And I was like, oh, man. So little things like that is why I respect and love my queen so much, because she saves me a lot of pain. My divine queen saves me a lot of pain. And one thing that we do, we share each other's light. In this book, Your Immortal Body of Light, the author talked about how your eyes are like suns. They receive and give light. You know what I mean? And when you have someone that is light just like you can eye gaze or just stare into their eyes and get fueled up. You know what I'm saying? And we do that a lot. Whenever she talks, sometimes I just look at her across the room and just stare at her eyes. And we know what we're doing. And she does the same thing to me, and we just smile and we literally pulse love and joy with each other. It helps us stay young. It helps our skin stay nice. You know what I'm saying, family? So hopefully you got some jewels on your highest form of currency, which is light. I really want you guys to act as if your light is worth something going forward. Forget about yesterday. Forget about the past. I really want you to tomorrow challenge yourself to evolve enough to treat your light as if it's a form of currency out here, okay? And when you treat your light accordingly, the universe will recognize you as someone with high light. When higher beings want to work with you guys, the first thing they notice is your light. They look at this human down there, bright as he can be, bright as she can be. And they'll work with you just based off of your light. You know what I mean? Some people you see walking around, they look human, but they just might not be human. And, one time we were up in New York, I wasn't going to talk about this, but one time me, my wife, and a bunch of my other spiritual brothers and sisters, we was up in New York walking. We were right by the Met in Manhattan. And there's like these 5 old ladies. They was like 80 and 90. They was talking. Soon as we walked past them, they stopped and they just looked at us like. And it was the weirdest thing. So we're evolved beings ourselves. And soon we walked past them, we was like, they wasn't human. They recognized our light though. They was looking at these melanated guys walking about like, look at their light. And if you've ever experienced anything like that, you already know what I'm talking about. But hopefully you got some Jews, family. I ain't gonna talk your head off. If you want to support me, go out to Amazon, get any one of my 8 books. The Enlightened Talk, Poverty Consciousness, Wealth Consciousness, Dissolving Your Limitations, Consciousness Equals Choice, Seeds of Time Volume 1, Seeds of Time Volume 2, and my latest book, Divination. If you need insurance, reach out to me. Chris the Life Broker at gmail.com. Take care of your families, family. So on that note, you already know what I'm doing. I'm out here winning.